Welcome, level uppers, to the Netflix Club episode 7 for this is actually for August of 2017. This is our new schedule. So moving forward, we're going to be doing the first Monday of every month, which is going to discuss whatever we choose as the Netflix Club for the previous month. So this is for August 2017, and tonight we're going to be discussing Death Note. I'm one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori. I've got my mistress, the sexy giraffe, Kristen Midori, here. That was very sexy. I like the giraffe that was just done there. And we got Mike McLaughlin, the classy douchebag, on Skype joining us tonight.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi.
You're so up close and personal. Like, Kristen's really far away. I'm like in the middle.
I'd rather not be that far away.
You can come a little closer to me, it looks like.
I'm centered in the thing, though.
Oh, no, you're definitely not centered.
Oh, you're gonna make me move?
Just a little bit to your
right. Oh
right.
my god, Mike, you have that shirt on again.
I do want to work for you.
There you go.
Actually, I didn't realize it.
Now you're more centered. And you're also
said,
closer to me.
Are you centered? Do you guys remember that episode of Boy Meets World where Sean goes to the cult? Are you centered? Like, no, dude.
No, I don't.
Center.
I don't remember that.
Center. So yeah, we're going to be discussing Death Note tonight. I'm the only one that actually finished the full anime, so I have that for comparison. Kristen didn't watch any of the anime, and then you watched about half of the anime, Mike?
I would say between half and 3/4. I'm not really sure where.
I don't like anime. It sucks.
Yeah, you and Danielle have an issue with cartoons.
Yeah, because it's a cartoon. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I like certain
You like
cartoons.
Moana, and that's technically a cartoon.
No, I was gonna say I like certain cartoons, but anime, I don't know why. I'm just like, I don't like
Danielle has
how
a
their
thing against
faces
any
look.
animation.
Yeah, it's the way that they're animated. They're not like 3-dimensional. They're just like 2-dimensional, aren't they?
Wow, that's true.
No, that's
Just
why
a
I don't like
drawing.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't compare that to Moana.
I think for you, for some reason, hand-drawn animation, like anime and like the DC animated movies and whatnot, you automatically think it's like for children because
Right.
of that.
And that's
And I
Danielle's
don't quite understand that, but
I don't like
I
it.
never got it.
Review guy hates me now, but
like especially with Death Note, I mean that is not for children at all.
No.
The anime or the
No,
Netflix
or like
original
the
movie.
Killing Joke, or
Right.
any of those other DC animated movies. Like, there's a lot of ones that are not made for kids that
Yeah.
I never got that. Like, even things like Rick and Morty, which it looks like it should be like a regular kids TV show that's just weird, but it has a lot of adult things that like I definitely won't have it on when Danny's around. So I never understood the whole idea of like, oh, if it's a cartoon, it's for kids. Like, I've tried to get Danielle to watch a lot of things that are animated that she just won't have anything.
I get it, and I mean, clearly the stigma is there. It's very widespread where there's. It seems to be. I have to say, like, it seems women, specifically, like that I've encountered, have this issue with
you
animation.
haven't encountered that many women. honestly.
There's a lot of anecdotal evidence in my favor.
What women do you ever speak to nowadays?
Oh, it's
except-
not even just like women that I know personally, but like on NeoGAF. Like all the people there will talk about their significant others, their wives, their girlfriends, and it's definitely not us. It seems like a lot of people have this.
Well,
with
I'm
their
sorry,
significant
us
other.
women are disappointing to you men.
No, it's fine. If you're not into it, that's fine. I personally don't quite understand it. Like,
Yeah,
there's
I
a
don't
lot of really good
understand
animated.
why you aren't interested
movies.
in Teen Mom.
I watch it. Hey, I do watch it.
No, you don't. You usually like fall asleep.
I do
which
my
is
best.
Which is what anime does to me. It makes me snore.
Either way, I do have that for comparison, and I really enjoyed the anime. And I have to say, the first half is, in my opinion, much better than the second half. So you saw the better part of the anime, Mike.
Yeah, but you know what, man? I'll tell you what. If there's one good thing I can say about this movie is that it really put into like how amazing the anime was. And even if the anime wasn't great, this movie would make it look like it was. It's my God.
Yeah, this Netflix club could be a little all over the place because I don't think I quite agree with you on the
Oh, you
severity
definitely
of how bad this was. Like you really think this was bad.
The movie.
It
The movie.
was poop. It was absolute poop.
Well,
Do
okay.
you want me to do my quick 1 minute overview? Like, my God. Dude.
Well, before we do that, let's just say we're going to do our quick overview, but this is the Netflix Club, which means that we're going to welcome you guys onto the show. If you're in the chat right now, go to our Discord. I'm going to put it in the chat, discord.gg/the Level Up Network. If you do that, put yourself in the TLUS queue, and we might drag you onto the show to talk with us about Death Note.
Kicking and screaming.
Yes. I recommend that you guys like actually watched Death Note, at least
Right,
the anime.
yeah.
And it probably also the Netflix original movie so that we have something to discuss. Like I know Review Guy's already in there ready to discuss it because he did watch both the anime and the movie, so that's good. But yes, Mike, go ahead. Give your 1 minute
Well,
feeling
why don't you
on
guys
this.
give yours, and I want to see if I'm just maybe misunderstanding the quality of this movie?
Okay, well, I think I'm the highest on it, and I'm not saying it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I think I'm the highest. I think Kristen's probably in the middle, and then you are like the lowest. So I thought it was okay, and the reason I thought it was okay is that it clearly separated itself entirely from the anime. When it first started, I was like, this is really rushing. Like, I knew this was going to be, you know, fast paced because they're taking a 37 episode anime and condensing it into an hour and 40 minutes, which alone I was like, why an hour and 40 minutes? Like, you have this huge anime, why not make it like 2.5 hours? So that already rubbed me the wrong way, how fast it was moving, how fast Light got the Death Note, how fast he killed somebody with it. But then during the scene where he meets Ryuk for the first time, and how hammy it was, I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Like, this is intentionally hammy. It's self-aware. This is gonna be a goofy, quirky movie, and it's not gonna be the anime. And once I let that set in, I was like, okay, like, let's just take, you know, sit back, enjoy it for what it is. It's gonna be kind of dumb and stupid and hammy, but I thought there were actually glimmers of something really cool in there. I think that was what was really disappointing about it, is I thought there were some really cool ideas that they twisted from the anime, which we'll get into later. And I thought, okay, that's a cool idea. I like what they did with Mia as opposed to Misa in the anime, stuff like that. It just was too fast. It didn't give us enough time to appreciate the characters and feel for them and care about them, especially especially L, who was my favorite character by far in the anime. Oh man, like the guy got the mannerisms correct, but everything else about that character was just too far removed from the anime, and I couldn't wrap myself around that, because that was my favorite character, and what they did with him was not what I wanted to see in the movie. So overall, I thought it was fine. It definitely wasn't what I wanted, but I came out of it like, okay, I got some enjoyment out of that. It was okay. Kristen, you were in the middle.
I mean, you already pretty much said everything, but
Really?
I feel like I'm not really usually in tune with movies and stuff in general. Like, you'll be like, oh, the score to that was blah, 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 and I'm like, I didn't even realize there was music playing. Like, I'm just usually not in tune with it, but it was the first thing I said was, this is moving so fast. I didn't even see the anime, and it moved so fast. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't feel like I even knew them. I didn't care about them. But then when I played, what was that one game?
Ori and the Blind Forest.
I cared and cried about the mother within like 2 minutes of playing the game.
Yeah.
So like, they didn't do something right. I thought they had some good ideas, but I didn't really care for it that much. I wouldn't watch it again.
How did you feel about like the characters themselves? I know you couldn't become attached to them, but like, how did you feel about Light? How did you feel about L? Like, did you like side with either of them in the film? Like, where you wanted Light to be the one that came out on top, or L to be the one that came out on top? Like, Light being like the one that gets a Death Note, and L being the detective that was trying to track him down.
That was a long question for my brain.
No, I'm asking, like, did you side with either of them?
No, like, I understood.
That's bad then. Like, really, that's not good.
I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, like I said, I liked the concept. They could have done better. I didn't like the girl. The girl was, like, really just bothering me because she was heartless and cold. And I hated how Light just immediately was like, look at this book. We can kill people.
That was weird, yeah.
And she's like, cool!
Yeah.
And
he took a leap of faith there.
it's like, you have a book that kills people. You don't show people. All right, don't show people in the first like 5 minutes of meeting them.
And legitimately say, like, I killed this guy. Like, I decapitated this guy.
Watch what I can do.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
That's what's so disappointing to me, is that, oh man, like in the anime, the battle between Light and L, I was screaming at the TV almost sometimes because I was so on L's side in the anime. And I despised Light in the anime. And that, not saying that Light is a bad character in the anime, that was the point. Like, in my opinion, like he was the Joffrey of that show, where he's not a bad character. You're supposed to hate him, and that they did a great job of making me hate him. And that's what was really missing from the movie.
I mean, I felt like Light was not as hated as the girl. Like, I hated the girl more than I could hate.
In the movie? Yeah,
Light.
the movie, Mia kind of was the Light of the movie. Light was like Mia in the anime.
Okay, well then I would have been more
Yeah.
in tune with it.
Yeah.
I have Mike's speak.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
My God, where to begin? Okay, so first off, if you could have listened to yourself explain everything that you had a problem with the movie, I don't understand how you could say that the movie wasn't bad. Like, you have an idea of what Death Note's supposed to be about, so you already have a general understanding. But then listening to Kristen explain why she would never watch the movie again and how she didn't really, she didn't hate her life while watching it, but she would definitely not recommend it to anybody else. Like, that's troubling. That is a bad movie. No matter what else is said about it, that's a bad movie. The movie was bad because of pacing. The movie was bad because of character development. The movie was bad because of plot holes and poor story writing. The movie was bad because of bad character transitions. The movie was bad because a lack of general passion about the overall project. This guy went into this movie thinking, I'm going to make this movie, and I don't know what happened, if he just got shot down by a bunch of people saying, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, can't do that, and he just was like, I'm going to do whatever I can do, or if he just really is that much of an asshat and thought this was a general decent film that needed to be made. I don't care if he did a different take on the whole franchise. His take was terrible, and he should never make movies again. His career should be written in the Death Note.
Adam Wingard, who's actually, he's made a couple of really fine horror movies, like The Guest, and he's not a bad director at all.
No,
was
and
he
that's
copyrighted or something?
What was that? Well, I don't know what happened, but like, he has a decent past. His career.
He didn't write the script on
Death Note now. Even still, as a
no, I'm just saying he didn't write it.
No, I know that, but as a director, you could be like, "This is crap. No, I'm not doing this." And the fact that he's going to put his career on the line and then go out and say it's going to be an alternate, no, dude, it was a terrible movie, a terrible story, and you were just at the forefront and said, "This is fine. Choo choo, get on."
I think that was the route to go, though. Even if you didn't like his personal take on it, I do think doing something completely separate from the anime was the way to go, because there was no way they were going to tell that story in a way that people would appreciate that already saw the anime. Like an hour 40 minutes, there's no way you can tell a satisfying Light versus L tale that copies the anime.
That could easily been done in 2 to 3 movies, preferably 3, but 2 different ones.
But there could be movies. There could be sequels.
That's the problem. They ended it already. So they took a character Light, and here's the other thing: Light and L had this whole perfect Sherlock situation going back and forth, where they were equals. It was Sherlock versus Moriarty consistently, and it was a battle of wits. And they sit down at the diner, and that's supposed to be a scene that really shows who both characters are, that they both can understand that there's something intriguing as well as alarming about the other person, that they are both equally matched. And Light has constant times where he stops and you see the world stop around him and he has to think, and you hear his thought process of how he's going to outsmart everybody else. Light in this one was like, ooh, pretty girl, here's my killing book. Like, it didn't make any sense to me, the progression that character made. Like, his
at the same time, though, they never set up Light to be super hyper genius like he was in the anime. In this, he was just a smart kid who did homework for other people, and he had a crush on this girl and thought that he was impressing her by showing her his book. It was a very different take on Light.
You have this guy L, who in this universe has this. He's completely like a person with his personality, which is going to, let's just go and say, Asperger's, right? He has some sort of cognitive, alternate cognitive way of understanding.
He eats candy a lot.
That was the anime.
That was the thing from the anime.
Raises up his sugar, so he's hyper and
Right, but he's supposed to have no feeling or thought, and then he goes completely emotional and irrational and freaks out.
Yeah, really weird.
Like, how convenient! This guy's a supportive of Kira, and he's just gonna knock into him. That was stupid. And
that was my biggest disappointment with the entire film, honestly, was that L became so emotional like that. That's just not... And I understand, I'm kind of splitting two ways here, because I'm talking about how it's okay to deviate from the source material, but I guess just in my case, because I loved L so much in the anime, and how he was this desensitized, all about the numbers, all about deductive reasoning. That was his entire purpose in the anime. Right. So for him to start that way, kind of, in the movie, and then just become insane, chasing him down, and maybe even using the Death Note at the end of the movie, I was just like, that's not L.
Right.
What? This is not L. Come on.
Right. No.
Name him somebody else. Call him something else. He's not L.
Well, so there was that, right? So then, and there's a lot of things that they change. And listen, I understand why you have to change things from a previous work to movies or whatever. So in this case, from the manga and the anime to the movie, and I get that. But there's a lot of things that they didn't have to change. One thing that I actually didn't realize I loathe, and literally this is the worst part of the movie, that I didn't realize how much I loathe it until, actually, believe it or not, Rick GFN pointed it out to me. I didn't know that the Death Note could control how inanimate objects move. So in it, he said that he wrote that the paper fell into a burning trash can. Oh, I'm sorry. You can control the wind now? Get the hell out of here. Like, my God.
I mean, I think that's a little nitpicky there, man. Like, this is a movie where a book can kill people. Like, you know, what are you going to do? The anime is like that, too.
You have rules set in this thing, and you and I had a disagreement when we were talking about it, and I was complaining about while watching it, and you're like, oh, they made up rules. No, the anime actually followed a rather consistent set of rules that they made, and they never altered from that, and they never really found loopholes that they could use to alter the rules that they had made previously. Like, this one was sloppy.
They did, though. Like, I'll give you an example from the anime that is kind of like the movie. It's not until like 9-10 episodes in the anime that you are getting to this point where it's like, how is Light killing this person? He can't see the person. He doesn't know the person's name. And then it's like, oh wait, there's this rule where you can take the Shinigami's eyes and then you can see people's names above their head. It's like, oh, that's convenient. They do that kind of stuff all the time in the anime.
He didn't do that. That was Misa. He never.
Doesn't matter. That was a rule that was introduced 10 episodes in the anime to suddenly change things up and allow this event to happen. That happens all the time in the anime where there's a new rule that's introduced to keep the plot moving. And that's what the movie was too, just in a very condensed version. It was, here's a new rule, and that's why at the end of the movie he kind of says there's so many fucking rules, because that it's annoying. Like, he almost was breaking the fourth wall there. As I said, the movie's self-aware in that way, where it's just like, it's just rules like that are nonsensical. The whole thing is nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. And
I know they had to condense it down, but my other problem was, why would you have to change the idea of what Ryuk was? So for those, I mean, again, I'm hoping anybody that's watching this has watched it, and you might not have an idea of the anime. In the anime, Ryuk is a death god like he is in the movie, but he's just bored. He doesn't have anything to do, so he grabs his death note, drops it into Earth, and just wants to watch chaos happen. He just wants to see what people do, and he's done it multiple times before this. So that was the plot, and the plot was more, and the whole point of the anime was more of a character study and what would happen to someone who was lawful good versus someone who was chaotic good. And it was a very interesting mashup between it. In the movie, it was just, I'm gonna fuck with some people and kill them anyway. Like, Ryuk was just gonna kill him no matter what happened. He like the whole point of having Ryuk there was almost lost for me. To the point where
he was underutilized.
It was not only underutilized, but improperly utilized.
He was more of like a demon trickster in the movie, as opposed to just this bored death god.
And it didn't make any sense. And I haven't even talked about the girl. I mean, that was just, like I said, like towards, like, all of a sudden you're gonna trust this girl and have him go googly eyes all over her, and then all of a sudden, like, be surprised when she turns her back on you. Dude, you showed her a book in which you could kill people, and immediately she didn't run screaming. She said, "Oh, cool." And you don't think that that's an alarming sign from somebody?
Oh, and let's kill your dad too.
That was messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's just kill your dad. Who cares about him?
No, like, this whole movie was just absolute BS trash to me. Like, there is not one person I know like that has watched it, and they have no idea the context of the show, and that has liked it. There's not one person I know.
Really? I've seen a lot of people that have liked the show. Personally, even Anthony, my brother, he watched it with me, and he usually is pretty consistent with my tastes in film. He hasn't seen the anime whatsoever, but he came out of it kind of saying what I did, but liking it more than I did. He was like, I liked it. It was quirky. It was weird. It was fast paced. He's like, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty cool idea. I think I would like to see more from it. And he came out of it saying, I'd like to watch the anime now too, which I thought was cool. That he came out of the movie and was like, I'd like to watch the anime. Something that he doesn't normally do. And then NeoGAF, I often talk about that because I feel like it is this cool little echo chamber for nerd culture. They were very polarized. A lot of people like you, don't get me wrong, a lot of people were like, that was awful. And then a lot of people that were like, that was freaking awesome. Like, it was really bizarre. And I'm in the middle, but it was bizarre to see such polarizing reactions.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, NeoGAF is also the place that, I mean, they're polarized on literally everything.
Yeah, but maybe that's just nerd culture in general.
Right, no, and I get that, but, like, you can't pick sides with that type of, echo chamber. No, like, not reasonably knowing how, negative and undeservingly positive they can be about certain aspects of anything in nerd culture. Like, and I get what you're saying. It's rather 50-50, but by the rules that constitute a decent film, this was a bad movie. like hands down. It has
Kristen's
had
yawning.
terrible-
That's like 5 yawn count now for
No, that was
Kristen.
2.
So, oh well. Anyway,
get it.
I just want to, just in case Kristen was having anything that she wanted to say that from what we were talking about there. I didn't want to cut you off if you had something.
I do in general have a lot to say about things,
Yeah.
but when it comes to reviewing stuff, I'm not as intellectually smart as you two. All I can say is I didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I wouldn't really watch it again. I wouldn't tell someone else to watch it.
I've watched it twice now, and I actually did enjoy it more on the second time, just because I was able
You
to.
watched it twice?
I watched it with Anthony. Remember
Why don't... When?
when we were down the shore?
Why don't you clean this crap instead of watching
We were
Death
down the
Note
shore.
twice?
We were down the shore.
Oh
So I
my
watched it the second time.
God.
And the second time I went into it, once again, even knowing more so what I was getting into. And I was able to just kind of like, okay, it's going to be fast-paced and all this. And I was able to just dissect
but you
it
gotta
for
remember
that.
too. You have an idea about what the plot is supposed to be and why certain things are going to happen in the way.
Right, I think that does help. You're right,
And
yeah.
it helps this movie not be as terrible as it is. So that's what to me is alarming. And I'm not being overly negative. There are a lot of people in this case. Like I said, I don't know one person that's watched that had no idea. Danielle just was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I think it was 20 minutes in or so.
See, I don't think that's... It wasn't that bad. Like, was
Dude,
it that
was
bad?
bad. I'm telling you, the pacing was terrible. There was very little character development to where it didn't make any sense why the characters were doing what she did. And listen, I know that, we might not always have the same, interests in culture and stuff like that. Danielle watches a lot of really freaking weird, quirky indie films that I don't have any interest in at all whatsoever. So for her to even be like, I can't do this, that's alarming to me. I mean, the only thing that she normally kicks away are cartoons, and for her to kick away a movie like that is, that's an alarming.
But Kristen is a lot like Danielle in that way then, and I don't think you hated it.
No, I didn't hate it. Do you know what movie I did hate?
What?
That one where they wouldn't stop talking, and I wanted to blow my brains out.
That was weird. What was that?
movie?
That was the one with
Fences?
Denzel Fences. I was like, this is the point of the movie. They talk a lot. She's like, they're talking
Really?
too much. I don't want to watch this.
No,
I was
I'm not. Me and my mom, we couldn't watch it. I don't know if anyone saw Fences. Maybe that should be a movie that we do.
like, Fences.
Fences.
It's a good movie.
10 minutes of it, I said, these people never shut up, and I'm a girl and I like to talk, but they never shut up. Don't watch Fences, or you'll want to just blow your brains out.
Interesting take on that one.
like
What
that.
else about Death Note?
Ryu's animation was good, at least.
Yeah, what'd you think of the demon? The Shinigami, the death god.
I don't know, he sucked.
Really?
I don't know. He looked fake.
You thought he looked fake? I thought he was actually pretty well done.
I'll tell you right now, he probably looks the most accurate adaptation from the book and the movie. They even had an animation of him in the movie, and I was like, wow, they nailed it. They nailed it really well.
I was surprised that this was a $40 million budget on this.
What?
Yeah, $40 million
Oh
budget.
my god. How do people get $40 million to do a movie when people are starving in the world?
I think it's doing pretty well for them, though. I think it's doing pretty well. I know, like, the reviews are polarizing, but I think on Netflix it's getting a lot of views. So I think they actually did set up a sequel at the end there, potentially. We can talk about that later on. We can get to Discord here first and bring in... I know John, he was obsessed with the anime. I'm kind of curious what he's going to have to say about the movie. So let's drag John onto the show here. Hey, John, how you doing, man? Welcome to the
Good.
show.
Jonathan!
What's up?
Oh, it's review guy.
So, John, you like, really, let's be honest, you're obsessed with the anime.
I'm obsessed with Death Note, and I want them to make more of it, but they never will. And the fact that you just said Ryuk sucked, I can't.
She said Ryuk sucked in the movie.
In the movie, okay, fine, but he was the best part of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe did a great job
He did
as
Ryuk.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Wait, there was a guy that was playing him?
Yeah, Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe was actually the one doing the voice. I think the motion capture guy was not Willem Dafoe, but yeah, there was a guy behind that. If you look at the behind the scenes, there's a guy in a costume, and there's a sort of it's not like the motion capture balls, but they have these lights that are kind of shining on his face to, I guess, capture some of his facial
his name's,
expressions.
like, Jason Lies or something, or Lyles.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he looks like
Something
Edward
like
Scissorhands. Like, it's not even
Yeah,
original.
kind of, yeah.
It's not even, like, that original, though.
I don't know. I really love the costume for him. Like I was wondering how they were going to do it. I saw it in that little trailer they did. I thought it looked amazing when they revealed him. I didn't actually watch the reveal trailer because I wanted to see it in the movie.
Oh, that's cool. He was definitely scarier than he was in the anime.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. But since you are the guy, like you are the Death Note guy, I'm very curious to hear like your ultimate impression on this film.
Well, I told you in the past that I was worried about this. Last time we had Netflix Club and you guys were talking about this was the next one we were going to do, I told you I was worried. Very much so, and
You're right.
I was right.
You were right to be worried.
Yep, they screwed it up.
I'm not surprised you would say that, because, I mean, like, this is not at all the anime. You must have came into this and be like, they're not doing what I wanted them to do! Like,
Pretty much, well, someone that's seen the anime probably about 10 to 15 times, all through, they've done stuff, like, Mike was saying about the fire. That's bullshit. Like, no. Like, I'm sorry, no.
That's a new rule.
Plot hole.
And then L using the Death Note at the end, possibly, like, what is...
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Oh.
No, you know what the biggest plot hole of the movie was?
What?
What the hell happened after the room was destroyed by Ryuk? He's in detention, and the room gets absolutely decimated. And then it just comes to the next scene. I'm like, what the hell? The teacher's going to come back in, and this room is going to be like a tornado came through it. Like, what the hell happened? Like, did he get expelled?
I was like, wait a minute. How? Wait. But yeah, that's a good point, actually.
He went to homecoming, so clearly he wasn't
It was
expelled.
probably magic. It probably just like cleaned itself up.
Well, then they should have showed that. That was by far the biggest plot hole for me in that film. I don't know if you call that a plot hole. That was just like a plot omission.
That was
like they just
that
decided
was like
not
one of those
to.
things where, like, in one scene the phone is hanging up, in the other scene it's off the hook.
It was bizarre. Like the moment that happened, I was like, "Are they going to come back to that?" Because that's kind of a big deal. I feel like they should acknowledge that.
Light, off topic there, Light. He was a terrible actor.
Nat Wolff is typically pretty good, and I thought most of his work in this was good. But both of them, both Margaret Qualley and Nat Wolff, had certain scenes where the line delivery was really poor. Like Adam Wingard should have watched that scene and been like, "Are you guys are better actors than this? Let's give that another take." Like, you know what I mean? Like
they had a $40 million budget.
Like that scene. You know, Kristen called out one scene in particular. Do you remember the one where you're like, "That was really bad acting"?
Which one?
Margaret Qualley at the end, where she says, "Now go get my goddamn book," and you're like, "That was really bad acting."
Yeah, it pulled me out. I was like, "Oh my god, just fall to your death already!" Oh my god,
that was bad. That was a bad delivery. Like they should have done that scene over, because that was a cool concept, I thought, in the film, to take Misa, who is this terrible anime trope, by far the worst character in the anime, sexualized and all that, and to turn her into kind of the villain of the film and really morally messed up in the head. I liked all that. I just thought that some of her line delivery and her ultimate fate it wasn't deserved for her. Like it didn't feel like they built up to that the right way. It didn't work.
It was cringe.
I don't know. I actually, that was the only part I liked, is that people kind of died.
No, I'm okay with her dying. She deserved to die. Don't get me wrong. She definitely deserved to die.
Everybody in that movie deserved to die. That movie was trash. That movie deserves to die.
The only person that did well in that movie, in my opinion, was L.
He had the mannerisms.
I was saying that to
right,
Drew.
yeah.
Like his character, his character's writing was terrible, but I said to him a few times while watching it, like I was like, he is nailing this. Like how he's sitting, his mannerisms, how he's talking, even his voice at certain times, it was almost masked. I mean, obviously he doesn't sound exactly like the same voice actor, but like there were times where I was like, man, he is matching that pretty damn well.
For the first half of his story, I was like, this guy's got it, man. I really like what he's doing with this. But then as it went along, it was like 3 scenes of his deductive reasoning at most, and I was like, this is not doing it for me.
His freak out.
And then he has his freak out, not working. Real quick, thank you to Guitar Freak for the sub.
Like going to the freaking Resident Evil mansion. And then he gets shot by the freaking police. Like
that was pretty cool. I like that scene.
But that was just so weird. I'm just saying it's out of place. It has it doesn't make any sense to me. Like why that was necessary. Like
I'm trying to remember what episode that was from Death Note, where they actually went to the mansion, but I don't believe it was actually like that.
Right.
No,
that's
it
what I'm
wasn't.
saying. It has nothing to do. Like it had no. Like they made that look like a horror movie mansion.
Yeah.
And it had no reason to look like that.
In the anime, and Mike hasn't gotten there yet, so I don't want to give too much information. But when you meet Nier for the first time,
Nier?
You don't even know who Nier's not in the movie, and he's not in the anime yet for Mike.
I hope
but
they don't make a second one.
I think that they will actually, and they've actually been talking about it already. Because let's talk about the ending. You have L who finds the page from the Death Note and is able to surmise that if you write somebody's name even into a page ripped out from the Death Note, it will still kill that person. You've got Light and his father in the hospital, and then Ryuk starts maniacally laughing, and and I really did like that they brought back the line where he says humans are so interesting. That was a cool little touch there.
Yeah.
But then it cuts to black, almost like, okay, what happened here? Did L kill him? Did L not kill him? And I get that that's fine if it wants to be this ambiguous ending. It actually kind of works in that way for what the film was trying to do with this version of L. But I think that they could totally develop the Light versus L rivalry more in the sequel than they did in this one, and maybe actually improve upon this and give me the Sherlock versus Moriarty thing that I wanted.
They already killed that though. They already killed it because Light is not that intelligent.
He did something pretty smart at the end, though.
Very stupid in this one.
Right.
He was until the end. He finally uses the Death Note in an interesting way at the end. I know that he adds a new rule, but
the problem with that though is that should just be written off as a like random spark of genius that's fleeting from almost every single person in the world. Like anybody can be like, you know what? When I'm under a crunch, like I'm going to turn coal dust into a diamond just this one time. Like that doesn't mean that he's overall extremely intelligent. And I don't think, honestly, they could establish that not in the proper way, not without throwing out everything they did in this movie. Like, it just wouldn't make sense. It would just be another plot hole. Like, oh, at one moment you're fucking stupid enough to think that this girl isn't going to screw you over at some point because you're clearly not giving her what she wants. But now you're freaking, Albert Einstein. You're going to just pop randomly like, oh my God, this is how I'm going to see everything. Like, come on.
I think that she was his weakness in the film, though. And once he finally realized that this girl's freaking insane, when like she writes his name in the note, like then he wisens up and is like, okay, I need to do what I have to do here.
He
and become
told
smart,
her
like,
about the Death Note within 30 seconds of the
again
film
because
starting.
she's his weakness. Like he had a crush on her, and throughout the whole film, she knows that she has advantage of him too, because like when he is pulling away from her after she wants to kill his dad, then he comes to her and she's like, I love you, and then he totally is back in her arms again because he's an idiot and he's weak
I
to
wish
her.
I had that power over a man.
See, I just wish they
man,
would have
you do.
incorporated
Oh my
the
God.
second Death Note.
See, that would have been too much for the film for sure. There was already way too much.
They
thrown
already
in there.
established that there's this evil demon that just likes to screw with people. They haven't established what Death God actually even is.
They
Or
didn't
what-
even
what-
mention
what is it.
Shinigami,
No, they didn't.
which
Yeah.
it doesn't even. Personally, that just completely throws it out of the water for me because not mentioning the main thing, like a Shinigami, that is it. Like that is what this.
Like what
anime-
sucks about it is that like I know that he was trying to do an alternate take, but there is honestly, in my opinion, a far better way for this movie to have been played out, and I don't understand why somebody with such a pedigree behind him, and I know it's only horror movies, but like he definitely has the chops to have done something decent. Why he couldn't have been like, no, this is terrible. Let's rewrite this. Let's work on this.
Okay, well, let me talk about another positive. I thought the cinematography was pretty well done, actually.
No, it was. I will say that. I will agree with that.
Positiveness.
It was a visually attractive movie for the most part. I thought some of the music choices were a little bizarre. I know it was trying to be, hammy and corny and quirky, but some of those music choices were a little too on the nose for me.
Why is ham quirky? Where does that come from?
Hammy, like, you ever hear of, like, hamming it up? Like,
Yeah, but I don't know what that means. So.
it just means to,
like
like,
I know what it means, but like where did that come from?
I don't know where the origin
Like
of
how
the
did
phrase
ham
is.
No.
become? Like ham is like a pig.
Yeah.
Pig
But,
meat.
like, for instance, the scene where Nat Wolff first sees Ryuk, he hams it up there. Like, the girly scream and all that. Like,
oh my
he hams it
God,
up.
that was absolutely freaking terrible. I was
I
was at
laughed.
one point where I looked at Danielle and I'm like, well, what is going on right now?
I think you went into it, man, just, like, kind of with the wrong idea.
Yeah, man.
I think you did. Like, if you watch that scene and you were like, "Oh, this is bad. This is dumb," it's like it was intentionally corny and goofy. Like I laughed at it. I thought it was fine, for what it
But
wanted to be.
I think maybe I mean okay, so fine. Even so, I'm not gonna back down. This movie was done terribly then. But even if it was supposed to make fun of the original plot points of the manga and the anime, then okay, that's one thing, and I can see why I didn't agree with some of the stuff because I wanted it to be more serious than it was.
Mhm.
But like even still, this movie had such terrible undertones to every single other aspect of it. Like I mean, dude, we have to kind of agree on the fact that cinematography was well done. Like that's like saying like this play was terrible, but at least they painted the door right in this scene. Like that's just I think we're kind of grasping.
That's not my only positive from the film. Like I said, I thought Elle was strong as an actor, and for
the
what
most
the
part,
film wanted
yeah.
him to be, that version
Right.
of Elle, I didn't like that they changed him, but I thought what they were trying to do with him in the film was fine. I thought that the father-son relationship was actually pretty well done.
Yeah, that wasn't terrible.
wasn't-
Yeah, I thought that was fine. I actually thought I liked the father in it. And I like the scene where he goes out on a limb and puts himself out there and forces Kira to you know to show his hand. I like that he was also unable to see that it was his son after that happened, that he was oblivious to it, and he should have seen that. I mean, that's kind of a clear thing. Like the moment that happens, Elle gets on the phone and is like, Light is Kira. Like he knows immediately, because for him not to die in that scene, it had to be somebody with a close relation to him. So I thought a lot of those touches were well done, and they had to be done for the story to flow as quickly as it did. Like they needed, if Light's father didn't go out and do that press conference in the movie, it never would have been able to move quickly enough to Elle figuring out Light is Kira. You know,
No, I agree.
like that they
Not in
had
a
to
way
do
that
something
makes
like
sense.
that, because otherwise there's no way they could have gone to that point. Like how there's no way to figure it out that quickly. That was the only thing they could have really done to push it that far that quickly. So there were multiple things I liked. I liked Mia. I thought that her becoming the villain of the film was a cool idea. For her to take Light's character from the anime and put it into Mia, I thought that was a good move actually. So there's multiple things I did like. I'm not just saying like the movie was attractive and that's it. At the same time, I mean, I'm not going to act like this is like a great movie. I would give it like 2.5 out of 5. Like it was fine. It was okay. You know, what about you? What would you give it, Mike, if you had to give it a rating?
1.
1, really? That
A
bad?
1?
Yeah, a 1 out of 5. Not
Wow.
1 out of 10. I'll give it a 1 out of 5. So a 2 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Dude,
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. No, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. What about you? What would you give it out of 5?
Out of 5?
Yeah.
2.5?
So you're right where I am. Okay. Just like mediocre, like right in the middle.
Yeah, definitely not as bad as Fences. It's true.
Someday we're gonna get you to watch Fences so you can realize it's actually
You
an
didn't even
Academy
watch the whole
Award
thing
nominated
either.
film. It's a good film though.
The
Like,
Academy likes bad stuff, though.
and the part that we watched with Denzel Washington was great.
No, it
I
wasn't.
don't know why you didn't like
wasn't.
it.
I don't know how you memorized all those lines. He didn't shut up for 20 minutes.
You did not. You are correct. John, what about you, man? What would you rate this out of 5?
2.
A 2? Okay. A little
Yeah.
bit more than Mike, at least. Watch
Screw
the
Mike.
anime, Mike. Finish the anime.
No, hey, don't screw Mike. It's just, I'm a big fan of it. I can't, go and say, no, it's not. Like, I don't know. I want to love it, but I can't. But I
Yeah,
can't
like
Yeah.
read it.
this wasn't as bad as like Suicide Squad for me, for instance. I thought that was worse.
No,
I
actually,
thought.
that's a movie I actually stopped watching.
Yeah.
That's
I
actually
would
one of
give.
the only times I've ever stopped watching any movie in my life.
I probably dislike Batman v Superman more than I disliked Death
I walked
Note.
out versus.
No, I see. I'm that weird one where even the edited version I didn't hate. of
Oh
Batman v
God,
Superman.
flames! Don't say that.
See, let's go to this. Dragon
Dragon
Ball
Ball.
Evolution, which is also crazy bad. But, Mike, in
Yes.
Discord, you said Avatar The Last Airbender, the Shyamalan film, was better than this. No
Yeah, I
way
think so.
in
Yeah, I do.
hell is Avatar The Last Airbender
Yeah,
better
I
than
think
this movie.
I think Dragon Ball. I remember when he said Dragon Ball, and I mean, there were some things I was going overboard with, but Dragon Ball definitely was worse than this because the cinematography was terrible, the acting was terrible from everybody. The story
agree.
had holes and didn't make sense. Like that was probably the worst movie. See, that movie I would give a half star out of 5.
Okay.
I wouldn't even.
Just because it was filmed from beginning to end, so it was technically a complete movie. So you should need to get some credit on it. But this, like, I don't know. Maybe I would go up to like a 1.5, but no, Avatar was definitely better than this.
Oh my god. Just to make it clear, Batman v Superman wasn't much worse than this. I'd probably give Batman v Superman like a 2 out of 5. I never saw the director's cut though. I only saw the.
I have it. I just haven't watched it yet.
You were the same. You hated Batman v Superman.
I was so bored. I was falling asleep, and that's so rare for me.
That was like the first movie I've gone to see with Kristen, where she was like nudging me in the film, like, this is terrible. Like, she couldn't. She thought it was terrible.
Was.
See, I don't agree with that.
I agree.
Parts. I think that said though, I knew what I was looking for in that movie, and I got it. I got everything out of that movie I wanted to.
Go ahead, John. We couldn't hear you there.
Oh, sorry. I agree. I walked out on Batman vs Superman. So.
Wow. See, I've never walked out of a film. I'll always give it a chance.
If I go pay for it.
Yeah, like I'll see it through to the end.
Take a nap, yeah.
Yeah, especially with the new reclinable seats. Might as well take a nap, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like, if I'm going to see a film, if I put down the money, like, I might as well see it to the end. And you know, it might turn around at the end. It might not become a great film, but it might become a decent film by the end of it all. You know, there's plenty of films where I've disliked the first half and been like, okay, the last half was better. That happens.
It's rare that I find a movie where, because my mind is constantly going like this all the time. What do I have to do? What time is it? Did I do this? Did I do that? So if I can get sucked into a movie enough that I'm not even thinking about time or space or energy, then it's a good movie.
Yeah, like Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. And I think I was kind of hypnotized by Gal's beauty, honestly.
You got a crush on her.
I do. I love her. I do. Who doesn't?
Real quick, before we wrap up here, let's do a quick wheel spin for Guitar Freak. He did a resub during the stream here. Thank you so much, Ricky. I appreciate that. This one is for you. Let me find the wheel here.
Pixels over Death Note, really, Johnny?
Yeah, what's next?
I haven't seen Pixels, so...
No, I haven't either.
Wonder Woman, yes. Richard Bauer, yes.
What does that say? Oh, we're going to give a mystery bag, add to all. Let me do that now before people leave the room. I want to make sure everybody gets
everyone
their
does
mystery
have
bag.
a crush on Gal.
Oh, well, she is, like,
unbelievable,
crush-worthy. That's for sure. She's
she's
very
the
attractive.
most beautiful woman in the world to me.
All right, guys, I'm going to give a ticket to everybody for mystery bag add, which means that you can add your own item to the mystery bag, which is pretty cool. We
That's
like
awesome.
it. Yeah. Be quirky, be comical.
Ham, cheese, a grilled cheese.
What?
You can
I'm
trade
adding
them,
the
right?
Death Note.
I don't know if you can trade them. Can you trade them, Mike?
What was that?
Mystery bag items?
No.
I
Like
didn't
if
think
someone
so.
gets ham and another person gets cheese, you could be like, hey, you're a grilled cheese. No?
Unfortunately not. I would love for that to happen, but it would also ruin the system, so...
Yeah, it would. You can steal mystery bag items.
Yeah, but you also have the chance of going in jail. We see how long you
That's
can
true.
stay there.
So if you use exclamation point Rob, you can try to steal a mystery bag item from another person.
That's mean.
If you guys want to do a mystery bag ad, do exclamation point mystery bag add space, and then put in quotations the item that you want to add to the bag. Make it PG-13 at most. No, nothing inappropriate, please.
Awesome.
Something I wanted to add,
so-
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Something that threw me off was the amount of swearing, not let alone F-bombs.
Not just swearing, graphic violence.
Yeah, like well,
That
I
was
actually
like Swamp Thing level, like...
Yeah.
not something, Radioactive Man. Do you guys
It was over the top. It was definitely over the top.
really over the top, and I was like, I sat there, I'm like, they did not swear that much in the anime.
No. They didn't swear at all in the
apparently-
anime.
No, they did. They did.
Did they say like an F-bomb in there?
Yep, they've used
Really?
a few F-bombs, but
I don't remember that.
apparently they, or I counted, I watched it twice myself. Light himself used 38 F-bombs.
Huh.
Why?
Yeah, I thought it was a little
Like, why?
unnecessary. Yeah.
There's
I mean,
no-
I'm okay with a little bit of cursing. They're high school students in today's world.
I
They're
didn't
going to
curse in high
curse.
school.
I said in today's world. I would imagine that a senior in high school nowadays probably curses
Oh,
a
yeah.
fair amount.
What, you think I'm that
But-
old?
I mean, we've been out of high school for 11 years. Yeah.
I'm the
So?
closest one to high school myself.
Yeah, you're
But I just
22?
were- 21.
21.
So-
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of F-bombs dropping there. I was more surprised by the violence, especially that first kill, which we actually saw on screen for a moment there, the ladder
Yeah.
decapitating the bully. And then immediately following that was the guy getting hit, which was also gruesome. Like, a guy getting hit by a car, I'm sure is gruesome, but that guy, like, broke in half. Like, is that really what would happen if somebody got hit by a car? I don't know. That seemed a little excessive. And then the guy getting electrocuted with his like head exploding. Again, I don't think heads explode when you get electrocuted. I don't think
No.
that's the way things work. Probably not. So yeah, it seemed like they were trying a little too hard with that. I will agree there. I wasn't a fan. It felt a little too Final Destination-y for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like they were, which honestly I was okay with that. I thought the kills were too graphic, but I was okay with if you don't put into the Death Note what the kind of death will be. It's not a heart attack. It just could be anything, which then
Yeah.
opened up possibilities for
See,
interesting
yeah.
deaths and stuff
I like
that.
that.
That's
I
okay.
like that.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I personally would like to see a sequel because I would like to see them try and do the Light versus L rivalry the right way. We've now seen that Light can be intelligent. Let's actually run with that and make him a smart foe in the sequel and really do the rivalry the right way. I'm not saying I'm optimistic on that actually happening, but that's what I would want to happen. John, would you like to see a sequel?
No,
No. Okay.
no, not at all.
Mike, would you be
No.
open to a sequel at all? Nah.
Not at all. No thanks. Pass.
I would like to
Hard
see who
times.
they cast Nier as.
I don't want Nier. Don't like. I'm not going to talk about this because I hate that happened in the show. I don't even talk about Nier to me.
But I like him. He's adorable.
That's exactly why I'm not okay with Nier. All right, like, so, I just don't like what the show became once Nier was introduced
We can
into
argue
Death
about
Note.
this another time.
Mike, you need to watch the rest of Death Note so I can.
I know I
actually...
intend to.
Yeah.
But that said, let's talk about what we're gonna do for September.
Oh right, yeah.
because
Next month. What is next month going to be? This
American
month.
Vandal.
Well,
I
wait,
think
who
so.
gets to pick the thing?
Well, we can talk about it right now.
No, I have to look through Netflix first.
Okay, well, let me
Well-
tell you what we were thinking of. You
Yeah.
actually saw the trailer for it. I showed it to you. It was the mockumentary of kind of like the Making a Murderer style, but it was the guy who drew dicks on the car.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's called American Vandal. It's actually getting really strong early reviews.
Yeah, I told
Uh,
Danielle about it. She's in for it, so she might actually watch it and do this with us. If we
I would watch
it.
that.
You would watch that?
Yeah, because it seemed funny. And
It does look
I'm
funny.
sick of
Yeah.
serious crap.
I'm
Right, no, and I
interested
think
to
it
see
would
how
really end
they do 8 episodes about that
Yeah,
one
that's
thing.
the thing is like that could have been 1 or 2 episodes and done. Like if they're gonna stretch it to 8 and it's getting good reviews, they must be doing something entertaining.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. What do you
So
think,
I
John? You
think-
open to that?
I just want to see if it's on Canadian Netflix.
Oh, right. You guys do have a different Netflix. I would hope so.
Let's see.
I would think original things, like Netflix original ideas, go to all
everyone. yeah.
territories.
Well,
like
it's
maybe
got
you
the
get different
trailer.
Disney movies or whatever.
Oh, it's
but
coming September 15th. Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
It's not out yet.
Yeah, because I think it already came out for us, isn't it?
It's not out for me.
Maybe it's probably very soon. It is
All right, I
this
have to look
month.
at it again. But
Yeah,
I think we
I
should
would be
definitely
up
do
for
that.
that. I think that will be hilarious.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that would be a
Seems like
great.
a lot
one.
of people would like that, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
doing something more comical would be good with the viewers. We've done a lot of the
Serious.
gritty and serious
Yeah.
stuff. I think it might be a good idea to go in a more comical route this month. We will confirm it on our Discord, guys. It's not 100% yet. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but it's likely to be American Vandal. Go to discord.gg/the Level Up Network in our movies and television channel on there. You can find out everything about Netflix Club and what's coming and what date we're going to do it on. But typically it will be the first Monday of each month, just as this one was. John, thanks for joining us tonight, man. I'm glad that you were here because you are the Death Note fan.
I was just happy that I actually didn't even realize that I had today off. So I was like, yes, I'm here, and I won't be around
timing.
much because I work until 9:30 ish. So. And then
Well,
I
I'm glad
work
you could
until-
join us.
You made it for the big
Right,
event.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Did
this
it
was
for
the
the
one that
big
you needed
one.
to be here for. Yeah, definitely. All right, that's going to be it for us today, guys. If you are in the chat, if you haven't followed yet, we have 21 people in the room, I believe, which is great. Hit that follow button here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. Turn on notifications. I will be streaming Uncharted Lost Legacy tonight, and tomorrow is our 4th week on the front page of Twitch. It's really cool. We have 8 weeks total, so let's see if we can beat our previous record of 1,650 people concurrently
great.
in the room, which was crazy. So definitely join us Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the front page, but specifically join us on this channel. We would love to have you in the chat, in the room, as opposed to just being on the front page. And keep an eye on Discord. Keep an eye out next month for the next Netflix Club. We'll see y'all then. Until then, take care. And as always, don't forget to
Level
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 up.
up.